Using Procreate Dreams, I drew this whole animation completely by myself, so I'm going to show you how I did that. Starting off with the background, like most backgrounds that I do on this channel, I'm doing it completely traditional in watercolor on cold pressed paper using Daniel Smith watercolors. Into the walking animation for the dinosaur, I'm going right into Procreate, the drawing app, because there's a lot of tools and stuff that I can utilize in Procreate, like the select tool, as well as all of my brushes that are already fully customized. It's just easier to do it that way. So I'm drawing the walking animation. I'm going to have the base drawing of the dinosaur. Then I'm going to select certain legs. I'm going to move them out and then fill in the blank. And then I'm going to do this enough times in different directions on both sides of the dinosaur, the legs and the foreground and the background, to simulate the walking animation. With that complete, I'm going to import all of these images into Procreate Dreams by putting them side by side on my iPad, selecting all of those layers, and then holding them and dragging them over. You can run it through a couple times to make sure it looks good. At that point, you can hit the content button, select all of those frames, press and hold them, press group, and then you've got your whole track. Now you can duplicate that as much as you need, and you can also group those groups together and have one big long group track. At that point, I drag the dino off the canvas, I hit the record button, and then I slowly drag him back onto the canvas to simulate the walking animation. Sometimes when I do this, it's always easier to just record and drag onto the screen. It's really up to you as a creative on how you want to do this, obviously. Next, I'm doing this little camera trick. I zoom in on the part of the tree that I want to show, as well as the part of the dinosaur that is relevant to this scene, and I go from the bottom all the way to the top. Now we're going to the dino munch. The dino is going to take a bite out of the tree, get some of that leafy green, to get that nice strong muscle. To do the blink cycle, there's a couple ways you can do this, but the way that I chose to do it was I started at the top, went to the middle, and then the bottom, so it's 3 whole frames. I duplicate these accordingly, but I also add a single shot of the open eye just to keep the blinks a little far apart so it looks a little bit more natural. However you want to do that, it's about pacing and it's about preference. At this point in the animation, the dino realizes that something is not quite right. He sees this giant asteroid in the sky and he's a little freaked out. So I animate his eye getting bigger so it looks like his eye is opening up. From there, I do add a pupil to move forward to acknowledge something is in that direction for the viewer, and I also drop his jaw to convey the drama. The asteroid animation starts off with fire, of course. So in order to do this, it's just frame by frame. When you do any fire animation, make sure that you're keeping in sync with the direction of the individual flames. So for something like this, it doesn't really matter if all of the flames are not in sync with each other. It just matters that individually they are in sync with themselves. With fire, there's still some predictability with where it's going to go. So just keep that in mind as you do that. To do the close-up of the asteroid, and it's moving a little bit back and forth, that conveys a fast movement through the environment. So I just select the whole group, I hit the record button, and I slightly move it forward and backwards steadily as the animation runs through to simulate that effect. For the actual asteroid, once the rock hits the planet, it's actually going to open up to reveal a Martian. Now, we can't have a rock hitting the surface of the planet without some smoke. Smoke is actually a lot easier than I thought. I've never animated smoke before until I did this. So what I did was I just did a bunch of clouds, and then they got a little bit smaller as they went upward to the point of nothing. And then I just cycled that through, and it looked like smoke. So I duplicated these groups into a couple other tracks. I selected the movie icon, hit filter, and then HSB, and then I adjusted the saturation to have lighter and darker smoke. And then I ran those at different times. You can see I have them adjusted a little bit off just to have plumes of smoke going at different times and different cycles. And then we're going to animate this rock opening up. In order to do this, I need to edit the anchor point. And you want to select the frame. On the top right corner, you're going to see 3 dots. When you click on that, at the bottom, it's going to say edit anchor. Once I've done that, all I have to do next is hit the record button, select my frame, or select my frame and hit the record button. It doesn't matter what order you do that. And then tap right outside the top corner of that rock and move it diagonally down, and then do that to the other side. At that point, if you don't like the placement of how it opened up, you can click on the keyframes from the recording and you can adjust those accordingly however you please. For the Martian, he's going to jump out of this space rock. He's going to do a little spin, and then he's going to walk off the canvas. And this is all done frame by frame. In the next scene, he's going to pick up a stick and he's going to hit the dinosaur in the face. So all of this is done frame by frame, including when the dinosaur gets hit in the face from the impact. And after that, I do a big explosion, and that's the end of the animation. Guys, I have so many animation videos on my channel. I have over 120 videos uploaded. Some of them are non-animation, so if you want to go back in time and see the Kozzie T archive, you're more than welcome. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Go on and hit that like button, and if you like what you're seeing that much, hit the subscribe button and stick around for a while. So close to 400 subs, so if just 10 of you hit the subscribe button, it's a new milestone. So for the grand finale, we're going to watch the animation all the way through, uninterrupted, to see what all this work has created. Stay safe out there. The world is worlding, but I can tell you right now that you are still here. So sometimes it's just one day at a time, and that's all you can do. Don't give up on yourself. You're so worth it. And above all else, stay cozy. I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Oh.